What's happening? It's Sir William, and today we're going camping and it's gonna be intense. Let's go. The reason that I'm interested in a tent is primarily for bad weather. You see, normally I sleep back here in the rig, but whenever there's bad weather, like I had in Chattanooga for a week straight, it's nice to have a little spot that you can kind of hang out, get up, stretch out, and be away from the elements, or cook or do whatever you want to do. Not only that, but then when you go to places like on the coast of South Carolina where you get eat up by these little gnats and things like that, it's nice to be able to sit inside of a little spot and still be in the outdoors. That's the reason that I like having a tent. So today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go find some bad weather, set up the Gazelle T4 Hub tent, and I'm gonna give you a full review of how it does. Let's roll. Is jumping off rock. Now, I'm not real sure how it got its name. I think it's got something to do with hang gliders and jumping off or something like that, but nonetheless, it's beautiful. Wow, it literally skipped right over top of me. Not all is lost though. I can still open up the tent, show you guys what it's all about, give you my initial impressions on the tent, not to mention get this really pretty view that's behind me. There's another storm coming, so I'll be able to do a little bit of rain testing. As far as the windy and rainy conditions, that's gonna have to wait. Let's go set the tent up. So the claim to fame for the Gazelle tent is the fact that it only takes 90 seconds to set up. The bag that it comes in is really nice, and it's easy to put the tent back into the bag, which is a plus. If you've fought with other tents before, then you know this could be a real hassle. Also, the rain fly that comes with it is really simple to put on and connect, as well as put back into the bag too. Once you do it once or twice, you'll get the hang of it. Each side comes with their own little pull handles, so that way you just pull it and pop it out. Rainfly is super simple to connect. It's literally dummy proof. All right, now I just gotta get in there and set up the middle. Just in time for the rain. Yeah, I got it set up, and as soon as I got it set up, it started raining. One of the primary reasons that I got the Gazelle T4 Hub tent is so that way I can do exactly what I'm fixing to do now, which is hang out inside out of the elements whenever the weather's bad out on camping trips. The only thing that does kind of stink is the fact that I gotta walk so far to get more beer whenever I run out of round one. First world camping problems, you know? I'm gonna do something that they tell you not to do, which is I'm gonna end up cooking in here. The reason is because, well, quite frankly, I don't feel like standing outside and cooking. Hey guys, wanted to break in real quick. So we've heard of the fire dangers, we've heard of the carbon monoxide dangers when it comes to cooking inside of your tent. However, I had a gentleman turn me on to one more thing. He said the reason that you don't want to cook inside of your tent is because it then smells like food. You can't get the food smell out of it. If you can't where there's a lot of bears, that can be a real problem. That being said, tell me if you cook inside of your tent in the comments down below. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Overall, the Gazelle T4 tent setup was extremely easy. As you guys saw there, it took no time at all. I don't think we're going to have any problems with really, really high winds tonight. All I'm going to have an issue with tonight is just the humidity. Now, the other thing is with this mesh design that they have all around the tent, I don't have to worry about these little biting flies. These little biting flies that are here in Lake Jocassee area are really crucial. Chrissy and I have traveled all around the United States, and we haven't been bitten nearly as bad as we were bitten one time that we were camping here. Really cool thing about the Gazelle Tent too is the fact that it's got a removable floor. The removable floor is going to come in handy because, as you guys would expect, it's going to be pretty muddy getting in and out of this tent. I'm going to track in a lot of stuff. So I'll be able to take the floor out of the Gazelle Tent and spray it off, which would be a nice feature. Overall, the build quality of the Gazelle, awesome. I'd say it's built better than my first house. I've got a fair amount of room in the Gazelle. As you can see, my chuck box is in here. My chair is in here. I'm in here. And that's a queen size air mattress. I've just got it folded in half right now, obviously for space saving. But overall, for a 4-person tent, it's got plenty enough room. Also, as you can see, I got plenty of area to stand up, plenty of headroom. Even directly up underneath my light, I've still got plenty of area. I do see a little bit on the sides here where it looks like it's starting to possibly come through. However, the moisture in the air may actually be coming in the inside of the tent through the mesh screen. So it's hard to tell whether or not it's actually getting soaked through because of the rain, or if it's just getting soaked on both sides because of the humidity in the air. I don't know if you guys can see it, but with the light on, I can actually see the moisture in the air, kind of like a mist or a fog type deal. I don't know that there's any way that you could avoid that from happening, no matter what kind of tent you have. Overall, the material on the Gazelle T4 is really good. You know, it's a whole lot thicker than your standard cheap tent material. It's not quite ripstop, and it's definitely not canvas, but it is a lot better grade than, say, like a Coleman tent. It's also double stitched, and it looks like it's got some taping around the stitching for added protection. Side note, it is bear season, and kind of freaking out a little bit about bear season. Well, I don't know if it's bear season. I just know that bears are out. Now, that being said, this is one of the only spots that I've ever seen a bear at. Normally, I'm in the rig and I don't ever have to worry about it. In an effort to keep the bears away, I actually moved the kitchen that I had set up in here and put it back into the truck, as well as put all my trash in the truck. So I'd like to hear what you guys' solutions are in order to keep the bears away. So leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys do to get rid of bears, or to keep bears away, or to avoid having an encounter with a bear. Again, normally I just sleep inside the rig, and it's not something that I ever really worry about. Last night, there were owls everywhere. I will say, I wish the door was just a tad bit bigger, you know? Also, this thing tends to flap in, and whenever it's wet, it'll get wet inside, but no real big deal. I didn't have any problems with the Gazelle tent. It's made out of this real durable polyester that not only is it going to be strong material, but it also beads up the water. Now, what I did find is with the moisture in the air and with it raining constantly, it did soak through a little bit, as you can maybe see in the camera there, but not too bad. I think that whenever it airs out, it'll be nice and fine. One thing I noticed right off the rip about the T4 is the fact that it comes with these 𝐲𝐿𝐾 zippers. These 𝐲𝐿𝐾 zippers are a pretty beefy zipper design. I don't think you're going to have any problems out of it. Also, if you notice the way that this little rain flap is designed, it doesn't get hung up like many of the other tents out there do. Another cool thing about the hub is the fact that it's got this mesh that covers up the door, so you can leave the door open and just have this mesh. And the mesh is a real tight woven mesh. And what that is good for is it's actually going to keep, if you can't notice, these little bugs are notorious for around this area. They're called no-see-ums, and these no-see-ums will actually get on you and bite. They're like the size of gnats. Between the flies and the no-see-ums, this could really make your camping trip not really that fun, especially if your wife's anything like my wife. So having an area that you can sit and chill in at night is a really cool feature. What I would recommend is take a look at the T4 Plus on the Gazelle website, which offers you a screened-in porch area. This would make this even better for you. The Gazelle gives you 6 windows throughout the entire tent, and they are comprised of not only the polyester cover, but also this tightly woven mesh. Not to mention, up underneath the rainfly is also that tightly woven mesh. So if you didn't need the rainfly, then you could obviously leave it off. Not only does it put away really fast, but it also goes back into its bag with no problems. And again, if you've ever dealt with that on some of the other tents out there, you know that can be quite the aggravation from time to time. The rainfly is really simple to put on, which is really nice. Another cool feature about the Gazelle is the fact that it's got a removable floor. For the life of me, I can't figure out why other manufacturers wouldn't do this, but that is a phenomenal feature for two reasons. One, the only reason I need a tent personally is because whenever it's raining and nasty outside, I like to have a little base camp area rather than just sleeping in the rig. That inevitably is going to cause for sand, dirt, mud, different things like that to be tracked in, and it's super hard to get down in there and try to wipe all that clean with just a towel. Whereas with the removable floor, you just take it out, spray it off, and you're good to go. Also, the other thing is, I never use a tarp. Many people use a tarp, but I never use a tarp. And with this floor right here, if something were to happen and it were to get broken or scuffed up or anything like that, I can just get another removable floor. That being said, though, the floor material is the same durable polyester material that the whole tent is made out of, and I don't foresee any kind of issues like that arising. You have a total of 8 staking points around the entire tent, which is really nice and makes it really sturdy. I can't wait to try it out in some wind, but I don't think that it's going to have any kind of issues at all. Other thing I want to note is look at how beefy the actual staking points are. You can tell it's a really thick nylon and a really nice gusset right there, so I don't think you're going to have any issues. And it also comes with these really nice aluminum stakes. Moving on to the inside of the tent, as you can see here, I've got plenty enough room. I'm right at around 6 foot, depending on which convenience store I'm running out of. And it's 78 inches tall. Now, the trade-off on that is the fact that it packs down to a pretty long pack size. 67.5 inches is what they say that it is on their website. What I measured it to be is right at around 65 inches. Nonetheless, just make sure that you realize it does pack down to be a little bit longer. I have heard that maybe the smaller tent does pack down a little bit smaller. You'd have to check their website for the full specifications. This is a cool little spot. You can stick whatever you need to right up here. I originally thought that I was going to be able to stick the tablet up there and watch some Netflix. Unfortunately, I was unable to do that. You also have some gear pockets down here. All 4 sides have these gear pockets, which is really cool, so there's ample amount of storage. And then up on the very top, you have another gear loft. I like to stick my light down into the middle of this and give you good lighting throughout the night. And the way that you remove the floor is you just pull these apart like that. It is Velcro, and I guess you would just line up these red dots whenever you get ready to put it back in. Undoubtedly, one of the best features about the Gazelle tent lineup is how quick and easy the setup and takedown process is, with the company claiming just under 90 seconds. I'm definitely a believer in that. It simply just pops in, pops out, and then you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and take it down for you guys now and show you how that process works out. So the first thing that you have to do is actually collapse the roof so that way you can get your rain fly off. Just like that, the roof's down. I'm gonna go ahead and zip up everything. I've made sure that all the windows are zipped up on the inside. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect my rain fly at all 4 points. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the poles out. These poles are pretty cool. They stay attached to the actual rain fly, so you don't have to fight and fuss with those. I'll spread this thing out a good bit so that way I can get some of the excess moisture off of it. Again, it did rain last night. While that's drying, let's go ahead and pop in the tent. So we're going to pop it in, pop it in, pop it in, pop it in, and you're good to go. As you can see, the underneath actually did pretty good. It's not really that wet, which is surprising. Now, as far as the best way to fold this thing up, I can't tell you. I don't know yet. I'll have to mess with it a few times. This is only the second time that I've actually put it up, so just kind of bear with me here. My approach has been to just roll it up, though. It does come with a nice compression strap, so that way you can get it nice and tight to put it inside the bag. So now that I've got it strapped up, I'm going to go ahead and put it back into the bag. Now the tent is dirty and it's still gonna be wet, so whenever I get to the house later on, I'm gonna have to let it air out and I'm gonna clean it up. See all these bugs? That's the reason I don't feel like fooling with it here. Keeping up with the thing and rolling things. I'm just gonna roll this bad boy up. Stuff her on down in there. That's the takedown and put away of the Gazelle T4 tent. Oh yeah, don't forget your stakes. Hey listen, if you've got a Gazelle tent like this or another model and you've got the secret on how you pack it up and store it, leave a comment down below and let me know how you do it. Now I realize I've got a little different setup than a lot of people are gonna have, but as you can see, it takes up the entire back of the 4Runner. With the seats down though, you shouldn't have any kind of problems at all. After being run out of a tent in the middle of the night during a pop-up thunderstorm in the Utah desert, most important factor to me when considering a new tent is the ability to withstand wind. That being said, I've decided to set the Gazelle T4 Hub tent up in the middle of some severe thunderstorms that are rolling through to see exactly how it does. I've actually moved it out to the middle of the field where it was sitting at before. The wind was being blocked by the tree line. Now out in the middle of the field, it's directly in the path of all the wind. We've got another squall line coming. I'm a bit concerned though because the little bit of wind gust that we have had has caused the sides to buckle in like this. So that being said, I'm a little bit concerned about a real strong wind coming. We'll just have to see how it does. All right, so as you guys have seen, we've had a little bit of an issue with the sides popping in, but it actually comes with these guide wires and some additional stakes. What I'm doing is I'm tying it off right there at the center of the pop outs. I'm stretching it out and I'm gonna put these stakes down, give it a little bit more reinforcement when the winds come. Now we shouldn't have any problems with the wind because when the wind pushes it, it's not gonna be able to push it in. Inside during a storm, I'd say that the Gazelle does just fine. No problems. You would think that the rain fly would, blow up and get some rain inside, but I haven't experienced that. Well, I was finally able to get some severe weather in the Gazelle T4 Hub tent, and it did phenomenal. You know, ultimately it did exactly what I thought it was gonna do and what other reviews have said it was gonna do, which is when straight line winds hit one of these pop out sides here, it pops in. That's without question, it's gonna happen. Now, that being said, what people do not tell you about is the 4 guy ropes that come with it. I'm only left to assume that these are to keep these from popping in whenever a storm comes. Final thoughts on the tent? I like it. I think that it's a great tent. It's definitely a higher quality than you're gonna find at a normal department store or some of your bigger chained outdoor stores, and it's still not ridiculously overpriced like many of your higher end outdoor stores tents are. It's going to offer you good longevity with the durable polyester. The mesh screening keeps all the bugs out and gives you a nice little area to chill and hang out. It is quite long, but it's 78 inches tall, so that's the trade-off. Above all though, the quick setup and the quick takedown definitely outweighs any of the flaws that you'll find in the Gazelle T4 tent. I hope that this video can help you make the right decision on which tent that you choose to go with for you and your family's camping adventures. Just remember, no matter which option that you choose, the main thing to keep in mind is to eliminate any points of frustration and aggravation while out on the trail to ensure that everybody has a good time. If you like this video, make sure that you hit the like button. If you'd like to see more videos and reviews or just follow our adventures, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And until next time, peace.